here live with Jamal Bowman Jr, up-and-coming Cleveland amateur boxer, Mike Patterson here with Believeland Media. I mean, I just got to talk to a little man from his gym, Paul Butler Jr, and he told me that Jamal was his favorite fighter. I said, who's your favorite fighter? He said Jamal Bowman. Just talk to me, how does that make you feel, just the impact you have on the young man?
It motivates me more. I want to do better. Get amateur. I want to be his best pro. I want to be his favorite pro boxer. That's good motivation.
Obviously, you just talked about it, the goal being a pro boxer. I mean, what about you do you think will lead you to that path, and ultimately not lead you to that path, only to be successful in the pro boxing?
My hand speed, my power, my footwork, my range IQ. You know, I know a lot about boxing. I feel like when I go over in the pros, it's gonna help me. It's gonna help me.
You talked about your ring IQ and knowing a lot about boxing. I mean, I feel like your dad is real a big part of that. Just talk to me about his role in all this, and just his role in all this. How he's affected you. I mean, not only as a man, but as a boxer as well.
Like I said, my dad motivates me because I want to be better than him. He motivated me to do better in the gym, outside the gym. He put me in boxing for a long time. That's how I got a good ring IQ. I watch a lot of boxing. I've been around a lot of boxing. That's the effect he had on me in the boxing.
I mean, you talk about being around boxers, being around a lot of boxers. I mean, you've been around here too. I mean, you told me you rap. Most thing you can remember is always having gloves in your hands. I mean, you've been boxing since you were 8 years old. Talk about that a little bit.
I have been boxing since I was 8 years old. I had my first fight when I was 10. That's all I knew when I was coming up, boxing. So it made me want to turn. It made me want to box. It made me want to turn pro. It made me want to be a vet. Just being around it for so long. Kind of don't have nothing else to say about it. I just been in boxing for so long.
I mean, I can hear that drive in your voice now. That I mean, to not only become pro and be successful in the pro. I mean, obviously with boxing, it takes a lot of sacrifices, man. You got to sacrifice. I mean, it's a Sunday, it's a sunny Sunday. You be chilling with some on Mother's Day, but I mean, you here trying to get a run in. Just talk to me about sacrifices that come with the boxing world, the sacrifices that you just have to make personally.
Yeah, I have made a lot of sacrifices in boxing. Like I said, it's a lot of sacrifices in amateur and pro. And right now, my sacrifices that I have to take, like it could be a party or anything, or something like today is Mother's Day. It could be my birthday. It could be anything. I'm willing to sacrifice it to my end goal. That's to become a champion one day.
I mean, you talk about getting to that end goal. I mean, a lot of times you can go through the dog days. I mean, you kind of talked about it during your past layoff, how sometimes you can just get in your head and just kind of get in your head and kind of get bored and just get frustrated when being away from fights. How do you go about that? Just layoffs and things like that. How do you go about that?
Like I said, I just stay in the gym and I keep on working because I know eventually I'm gonna have a fight. But when it is lay down, you can't be demotivated a little bit because it feel like you're not working towards anything, even though you are. But now that I'm back rolling again, I'm having more fights and I'm constantly fighting. I feel like I'm better now.
I mean, you've had a lot of success. I mean, you made it far in a lot of national qualifying tournaments. You're a state champion, a regional champion. I mean, with success comes a lot of adversity. Just talk to me how you've been able to bounce back from adversity and just kind of help yourself get on the right track. How do you handle adversity?
Like if I lose or anything, I don't really see it as a loss. I don't really care about amateur losses. Like I just take it, I just learn from it. So like every time I lose an amateur, it's gonna mold me. It's gonna mold me for the pros. For what I did wrong in the amateurs, now I know I go back, look at my fights, I see what I did wrong, and I capitalize it in the gym so I can do better in my next fight.
I mean, knowing that you kind of touching on it like the amateur experience, then you're not putting all the stock in those losses like with it. You're kind of touching on it being a learning experience. Just kind of elaborate on that a little bit more. Just this whole process being a learning experience for you getting ready to the pros, for you ultimately do your best one.
Like the amateurs is basically like sometimes it's like high school and college. And when you graduate, you go over to the pros. It's like now you really working out. So that's why I feel like it's just molding me. When I lose, you can feel the test in school. You still get to take the next one. So that's why I say it just gets me ready for the pros every time I was to lose, and every time I win in amateurs too. Even I can learn off the wins too.
I mean, talking about talking about your next test, I mean, you have a fight coming up, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, just talk to me how you. I mean, it's pretty soon. How are you feeling going into your next fight?
I'm ready to fight right now. So that when I'm not fighting, I'm impatient. I feel like I need to fight. I need to spar. I don't want to miss no days, nothing like that. But I'm ready to fight right now. That's now.
Anywhere, anytime. Anytime. Anywhere, anytime. Talk to me, Jamal. I mean, I'm understanding. I watched a few fights a few years back. It was at 125. You said your last 4 fights have been at 132. Just talk about that difference a little bit. Talk about that.
Difference between 125 and 132 is, my hand speed and my punching power. My punching power kind of, when I go down, my punching power goes up a little bit. I still have my speed and my power at 32. But and another big difference at 25 is I really can't feel those guys' punches. Like it really has no effect on me. So that's why I'm ready to go back down, especially when I turn pro. When we put them 8-ounce gloves on, there's gonna be a big difference.
Yeah, you heard it. You stay away from those quick, long combinations. How do you? I mean, when you look at, like you said, when you want to go to pro, you plan on going back to 126. Does it ever cross your mind when you just watching boxing fights, professional fights on TV, just like when you think about yourself alongside those guys? Talk to me. Do those thoughts come in your head a little bit?
Yeah. When I see guys on TV fighting, I be wanting to fight them. That's what it is. I see him on TV, I be wanting to fight. Like I know I could probably beat him one day. I'll probably be in the ring with that person one day if they still fighting. So that's what I look at when I watch the pros.
I mean, you have a few pro guys going pros that you've been around a little bit. I mean, talk to me about just having that kind of just those type of guys in your ear, just experiencing the pros.
Yeah, being around guys that's pro, like I said, when you see them win and you see them win, it motivates you, especially when you see them in the gym working and when you camp and you see that really gets you ready. Like I seen Omar Richardson, he's coming up too. I seen him working. It motivates me. I'm in the gym with 2 other fighters. They just from my area, Billy Mason and Tyler Johnson. But when I see those guys fight on TV, it motivates me a lot more. When I'm in the gym, I think about when I see them winning, it makes me want to win even more. It makes me run an extra mile, bag an extra mile, anything that motivates me.
Before I let you go here, I mean, your dad. I mean, we talked about his role earlier. You're a second generation boxer. He was coming up in boxing a little bit during his time. Talk to me the pressure of that. Just how do you go about handling that? Just talk to me about that whole situation.
Yeah, it's pressure because like when your dad is your coach, you gotta worry about him being the dad and the coach. So sometimes, like I said, like if I was to lose or if I was to do something wrong, I feel like I'm in trouble. But in reality, I'm not really in trouble. He's just telling me like tighten up, get my stuff together. But that's kind of how it is when you got a dad as a father. I mean, not dad, father. You got a dad as a coach. It's kind of, 50-50. Sometimes I just got to separate the two. Him being my dad, and him being my coach. If you do that, it will make it easy.
How do you go about like separating that? Yeah, just separating the two, the father and the coach.
Like when I'm in the gym, I see him as a coach. Like I don't think about nothing outside of him, like him giving. Like when you're outside the gym, you think about eating and dad, what I'm gonna eat tonight, I'm grown. Or dad, can you take me this place? You take me that place. When you're in the gym, it's not dad, can you take me this place? It's time to work. Be on me again hard. That's the difference between the gym and real life.
Jamal, if I let you get out of here, I mean, to the people listening, to the people watching, what can people expect out of Jamal Bowman Jr. as you come up in the ranks and eventually become a pro boxer? What can people expect out of you?
The fight, the boxing, hand speed, punching power, head movement, great boxing. That's what I
Here from first, Jamal Bowman Jr. Becoming Cleveland amateur boxer. I'm Mike Tyson. Thank you, Jamal. Thank you for your time.